Ladies and gentlemen, it's the weekend. Time to clock out and not worry about tomorrow's work because there's no tomorrow's work. Well, that's for some of you, but as far as we are concerned, I've got just one word. Italawa, baby. Okay, that's 2 words, but I really don't care. We are outside tonight, and Tolu can finally get off my back about leaving my house for more than just work. It's okay. Monday, Italawa. Tuesday, Italawa.
Why that song?
As long as Naija. Okay.
Slow down.
Right.
Slow the roll. Slow your roll. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Because I actually really thought we had left Italawa in December, with Dirty December, with the IJGBs, and their yearly visits, their yearly pilgrimage to Nigeria.
IJ has gone back. IJGB.
But it looks like we are stuck with Italawa as well as some other words. Now, while Italawa, which literally is Yoruba, translates to we are outside, didn't make it onto the list we're about to talk about. Some 20 Nigerian words have now been added to the Oxford English Dictionary. I find that so interesting. Now, Dr. Kingsley Ugwuanyi, a Nigerian English consultant to Oxford English Dictionary, shared a post on his LinkedIn page on Tuesday. He wrote, "I'm thrilled to announce that the Oxford English Dictionary has officially published its latest updates, featuring an amazing collection of Nigerian English words that beautifully reflect Nigeria's culture, creativity, and the unique ways we express ourselves as Nigerians. This time, I not only drafted most of the words, but also had the incredible opportunity to provide their pronunciations. So when you explore the OED online and click on the pronunciations, you'll hear my voice bringing those words to life." He's so proud.
And it is a big flex. I remember the time, I don't know if it was the Oxford Dictionary, but this word boyalty got into a dictionary. I think it was Wole Soyinka. Everybody was just saying it's under boyalty. So boya is probably, so under boyalty, probability. Everyone was so happy, and now these words are and I can imagine how proud he is. If it's me, I'll just be. Have you listened to the dictionary? That's my voice.
Okay, so in case you're wondering which words made the list, they include 419, Abi, Adire, Agbero, area boy, cross carpet, cross carpeting, Eba, Edo, Gele, jand as a noun and a verb, janded, Japa as a noun and verb. Wow. Kanuri, Kobo, Naija, Suya, Yahoo, Yahoo boy.
Yandus. Are you serious?
Wow. So I reached out to him, and I hope we'll be talking to him next week, because I'm curious as to the decision, how they arrived at the decision to have certain words on the list, especially when it comes to, so 419 has been in vocabulary. I think a lot of people have known that for many, many years now. But words like Agbero, I'm not happy.
Well, how people want to decide?
Please, what is Edo doing there? Edo is a state. Is there another meaning for Edo?
Maybe that way.
So how did Edo land on the list? You people need to explain to me.
Maybe. Or is it Edo, like liver?
It would have been with the accent. But no, Edo as liver for a reason has not trended, has not been. So what would be there?
Edo, Shaki.
And then Jand as the noun and the verb, and Japa. Kanuri is the people. The people on the coast. So that makes me, I want to know.
Or the island, because it's a place that people visit, I think.
I think there should
Kanuri
be
Island
more
is
words
a tourist attraction,
here, and some taken out. Like Kanuri, yeah, we know it's people. Like Kobo. Okay, except it's something Kobo.
Kobo.
Yeah, you know when you
but Kobo is a currency.
It's currency. Okay, Naija makes sense.
Again,
Eba. Why is Eba on the list? Is Eba not the food we all eat?
If Eba is there, then Amala should be there.
So again, I think that maybe they just picked certain, because I mean, there probably are some, what's it called now, delicacies from other cultures around the world that are in the dictionary. I don't think we have things like egusi in the dictionary. So probably they just picked some very common ones that at least just to represent Nigeria.
Explain. We will have him.
And yarn dust. I mean, as excited as I am, maybe yarn should have just been the word, like,
because it's a phrase. When you yarn dust, you're talking in the north.
Exactly. So they would have just put it together. So yarn means what's in the farm. It also means when you're speaking, is a Nigerian parlance for
I think
speaking. But yarn dust
that should be there. And I'm trying to think of it like this Italawa has been such a big
word. No, we're not.
No, it's new now.
No.
That's the new.
Do not come and disgrace me in public. You want to go and put
We're imagine a white man saying it and saying, what is oboe? Oboe, no, it's oboe.
I still am struggling to understand what is inside that song that turns people. The minute oboe comes up, now I want to go to Oxford. Did you not hear Oxford English Dictionary? Let me pronounce for you.
But Italawa would have been nice, though. Italawa would have been nice.
Italawa would have been nice. Like I said, it's Tolu, I heard it. Tolu cannot dodge this one. I started hearing it from Italawa. Oh, Italawa, baby. December was Italawa. Tolu was Italawa. It sounded like a name of a person. I had to ask, this thing is what? Say we are outside.
We are outside.
Italawa.
But probably, maybe the reason they didn't make it to the dictionary is because we're outside, I think, started from the West and came here. We just translated yes. So because you hear girls say, we outside, you know, it's a Friday party.
I'm always outside with my cousin when I travel. Even when she comes, we're always outside. That one can't sit in one place.
No.
I love you, talk man, but we all know you can't sit in one place.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
Because when we arrive here Monday, every Monday, guys, we always ask one another, how was your weekend? Every time, we need to do the cuts. Every time we ask, how was the weekend, you should hear Tolu. Oh, man, I mean, I was, my husband, he came to pick, TV.
I met my partner in that Italawa. You people think I'm outside. We need to go on a break.
Okay, it's a Hot Topics Friday, which means we have a guest joining us as we work our way through some of the biggest stories of the week. We go continue the yarn, and we know the yarn does. Hey! So don't japa anywhere. Did that work?
Enter.
Please, we have the words in the dictionary. Who are you to tell me? Let's just take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue.
Our guest for today's Hot Topics is not a stranger to controversy. He's a media personality, cultural commentator, and a voice that many in Lagos will recognize. Now, with his signature wit, bold opinions, and knack for sparking lively discussions, he's here to break it all down and give us his unique take on the hottest topics of the week. Let's see who it is.
Man like Osi, we welcome you. Welcome.
Yeah.
We know him as Osi Suave, but his government name is what? You heard it here, his government name. You know, you talk about everywhere.
Yeah.
His government name is Osi Dirisu. How are you, Osi?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Welcome to the Jasiri.
Welcome to Jasiri.
You guys look amazing, man.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
It's Friday.
Happy New Year.
It's Friday, that's how I look at it. Blessings, don't do that. We always look at it.
Let's package.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ladies, let's package.
Yeah.
How is Nigeria? Go ahead. My sister, go ahead.
Osi, on this table, my ladies and I, we always like to feel the temperature of our guests.
Okay.
Because, you know, Lagos is a very interesting place, and it's part of the big country called Nigeria. So, and people come from different parts depending on when the
You want to ask one question and you're doing all this prologue.
before where the breeze is blowing. You also knows me before how the breeze is blowing depends. So in feeling your temperature for today, how are you?
I'm
and how is
fantastic.
Nigeria? Wait, man. You have to pause first.
Okay.
5 seconds. Osi, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
But
I'm fantastic.
Let it go.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm great. And well, Nigerian, just trying to keep head above water. Though, so,
Obviously.
You know, every other day, taking it in its stride. So yeah, so I'm good.
That's as in good.
Yeah, I'm great. You know.
He doesn't want to dwell on Nigeria.
No, I think so.
By the way, this is like one of the very few times that I'll hear someone's nickname sound relatively close to the names. Because I was expecting something like Darlington Freeze. As the original. I don't know why Nigerians do that. Like your nickname is totally far from your actual name. So I was waiting for you to see the
Funny
name.
thing is a name that, you know, I tried to unstick it. So I used to run a magazine when I was in university, and the name of the magazine was Suave. And everybody just added it to my name. So yeah, and it just stuck. So I'm just like, may as well. So even on the radio, I try not to use that. Just use my government name on the radio.
I know, because if somebody said
nice
OC,
It'll be like,
who's that? Oh, God. But you know, Catherine was asking about how Nigeria is. I'm not really caring about how Nigeria is because some people on this table might need your counsel to see if they'll change their mind about marriage. Oh, see?
Yeah.
How long have you been married now?
Let me see. A couple weeks.
A couple weeks. And in these couple weeks, you have given us pajama pictures.
Yeah.
You've given us wedding pictures. You've told us that Madame is sending you to be buying water. You've even posted about how sweet married life is. I love that post. When I saw that post that day, I was laughing that people did not tell him this is how sweet married life is, that they came to cover you with blankets. It never reached 24 hours. They send me message. You bought bread too, Abi?
No, I've not gotten bread.
Oh, the bread is coming. Oh, you tweeted this. I can't speak pidgin.
Now, when don't marry since, no tell me say it's sweet like this, so then they use blanket, they cover me when I fall asleep for parlor. I don't they carry lunch, they go work. I don't they do skincare. Plus, I know Sabi save my oven for a house, we bake cake. If I come over here, we can bend.
So how is it? I saw the skincare. She bought skincare for you.
Hot, yes.
He's going to be doing toner, cleansing.
We have not even started.
I love it. I love it for you.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's great, actually. I think, it's something everybody should try, once in their lives. Like, and, the way life is set up, I don't believe that, it was designed for people to do it alone.
That's why I have a dog.
Yeah. Sorry? Well, different strokes for different people, though.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
you'll probably outlive your dog. So, there's that too as well. So, I don't, like I said, I don't believe that it was designed for you to do it alone. So, you just find the person that, do life with your person. So,
That makes sense.
I can see you're doing it with your person.
God, 12 years in.
Oh, wow. You're a veteran.
So I think that you guys should be adding the clause when you say marriage is sweet. You should just complete it with the right person.
Yeah, with the right person.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think that is one of the most important decisions anybody will take in their lifetime. Who you get married to. So that's why I tell men and women, do not ignore red flags. Try as much as you can to just get to know who you get married to. Look at tweets, look at patterns of behavior, how they were raised, and try to see, okay, if this is the guy or the woman that you would love to be the mother of your children. So, because it goes beyond, you guys just compatible, for each other, because the family unit is the smallest basic, unit of society. Absolutely. And when you see malformed adults, you can always trace it back to the family they came from. So I believe that, for society as a whole to thrive, you can all just trace it back to the families that they come from.
Is it you talking like this?
Yeah.
Wow. I know Osi from radio, but I never knew that Osi could be so eloquent. You will see Osi that you think he's not married 10 years.
You would know when I saw in a river. You say marriage, you have to marry the right person. I never really believed in it. I'm like, find the right person.
I'm eyeing you. But let's move on. We have some questions.
All right, so Osi, before you came, we're discussing the Nigerian words that have entered that have now entered the Oxford English Dictionary. And we were still saying that there were some that probably shouldn't be there or can be upgraded. There were words like agbero, cross-carpeting, japa, jand, yahoo boy. Do you think some should be added to this?
A lot. There are a lot. Steez, Riz.
Steez is more current.
Steez is more current.
Steez is on the dictionary.
Riz. But the ones that they've added, though, I think is nice. Let me see.
What's Edo doing there?
What's Edo doing? What's Eba doing there?
Yeah. Gele. Okay. Janded. Okay, I get it. Kanuri is a place. Naija. Okay, understand it. Yahoo. Okay. Yandos.
Yahoo boy. I'm worried about sort of the negative words that have the 419, the Yahoo boy.
And there's Suya, and there's Koba, and there's Japa, and there's Jand.
And cross-carpeting. Our politicians. We have our politicians.
But I think it's an English word, though, so... Yeah,
but they're the ones who sort of popularize it. They don't typically, when they talk about their politics, they talk about across the aisle.
Yeah, across the aisle.
Yes, they don't really say cross-carpeting. That's something
I actually do like. I'm not exactly excited that these negative words, but I like that there is now a tag to it, as opposed to saying I was duped by a Nigerian or a Nigerian prince. Call it what it is, Yahoo boys, so that you don't generalize. So I think I like that one.
So we could have added something like ultra modern. It's a Nigerian thing. So just commissioned an ultra-modern, state-of-the-art.
State-of-the-art.
I'm just nipping the bud. Yeah.
You remember the guy that was talking about, he had an interview with somebody, or somebody sent him an essay about 6 or 7 months ago, and he said that he didn't like the way it was a Nigerian.
Yeah.
The way Nigerians speak.
Yeah. and that it was more or less like AI.
AI, yes.
And everybody was like, we use these words every day. But when you read press releases, and there's some words that are always there. If it's from the police, you know that there's nip in the bud. Something's going to be there. Then if it's from like the government or anything, and they're commissioning something, there's state of the arts, there's ultra modern. So all these words, it's just part of
I'm even glad that we've gone past the literally era. I would have said you should just add it as another, with another meaning. Is a filler word. If you don't know what to say, it literally just, literally, as in.
All right, guys, let's get into the stories because we lined up some great stories for Osi today. It's time for us now to dive into stories that are buzzing, the debates that are trending, and the conversations we can't ignore. So the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency on Thursday announced that the teacher seen in a viral video slapping a child in class has been arraigned at the Ogba Magistrate Court. She pled not guilty and her bail was set at 200,000 naira with 2 verifiable sureties. She's been remanded in a correctional facility and the case adjourned until 18th of February 2025. Now, before we go further, let's take a look at the video. I will say it might be disturbing for some people to watch.
Right 6 for me. Right 6. Like this, 6, like this. Like this. Now your 1. 6, 1, 61. Right. 6 is like this, like this. Your 2. 6 to 62. Right. Like this, that's 6.
All right, so before we get Osi's reaction, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, Force Public Relations Officer, Force Headquarters, Abuja, he posted about the teacher. She's been identified as 45-year-old Stella Nwadibo. She was arrested on Wednesday. The child she was seen on tape slapping was a 3-year-old. Osi, before we get reaction, let's get your thoughts, Chad, before we take reactions.
Yeah, that was a very difficult video to watch.
Very.
Wow. Hit the kid 4 times, and not even like a light smack. That's that's something that if you were fighting with another adult. And for a 3-year-old, that's a lot. And
that's trauma.
Yeah, that's trauma. And it's why I say, we have social media now, and we have an opportunity to be able to have a lot of conversations. And people just come and have conversations, and they forget that a lot of people are still detached from their reality. Because there was another adult in that video that absolutely did nothing.
Did not even react.
Yeah. So
And then there was someone filming it, so
filming it too as well. Yeah. So while we, come on social media and say stuff like, domestic, violence of any sort, it's not to be acceptable. We need to also understand that, there are people far-flung from our reality on social media that are doing these things every day, and other people that see it is normal. So it's great to see the Domestic Violence Agency in Lagos, sweep into action as swift as they did. And they've done the same when it comes to, violence against women, and it's great to see them. And, a bill has been set for 200,000. Let's see, where it goes from there. I think it should be used as a pointer for a lot of other schools that, things like this happen.
That this is normal.
So the school has suspended her, but guys, you haven't seen the reactions yet. I was going through the reactions. Yeah. Let's see. Because Osi said something when he was talking in terms of marriage, and when we look at people, we need to look at the person we want to marry, look at their background. Yeah. And we've talked about a lot of the fact that there are a lot of traumatized Nigerians walking around. Let's see what some of the reactions are, and you might understand why we are all traumatized. So someone says, teachers, just like everyone else, are human. They face personal challenges and pressures every day, yet they are entrusted with shaping the minds of future generations. That's why selecting teachers should never be based solely on qualifications. Emotional intelligence and proper training is essential. While we must hold teachers accountable and encourage responsibility, it's equally important to address the underlying issues causing these challenges. I believe this teacher has learned from her mistake. I sincerely appeal for your understanding and forgiveness. Everyone is under immense pressure in our nation today, and a little grace can go a long way. Thank you for your, don't talk yet. Thank you for your time and consideration. Let's see another one. In my own opinion, why can't you all forgive this woman? Why are you treating her like she killed someone? Yes, she needs to be punished for doing that, but we all know that this is how most of us were brought up when we were kids. We are being beaten when we didn't get something right until we get it right. That's not new in Nigeria. Please have mercy on her and use this to warn her, please. I don't know her, but I'm pleading on her behalf. She may be so stressed to do that to the child, and she would have regretted her actions by now. But that's how all teachers do when we were in school. They beat us and insert fear in us so that we can respect them and do whatever they ask us to do. Let's move on to another one. I am going somewhere with this. Let's get another reaction. The Nigerians on the internet are acting like this isn't the norm. Even the child's parents are aware and would most likely do the same, if not worse, to the child. Instead of focusing on the brain rots that cause this uncivilized mindset, they want to claim moral high ground. SMH. Stick in my head. Let's take one more before we talk. Please, this woman is innocent. She should be chastised. From the scene, it looks like it's a normal practice in the school. Please don't subject her to mob justice. We can keep some other reactions going on the screen. So when I said that we needed to see the reactions, it's a societal thing. We've spoken about the fact that we seem to think it's okay. People are saying that this is not a criminal act, that she should not be in jail for it, that she should be forgiven, she should be used as a source of, not inspiration, deterrent to others, but that this is how they grew up and nothing is wrong with them. Osi, what do you make of the justifications we're seeing?
So, it all boils down to, our mindsets as Nigerians. Yeah, the vast majority of Nigerians think, a certain way. So when people are saying, oh, yeah, forgive her and this is what happens, the fact that it used to happen in the past does not mean it should continue. And is why I also say the leadership of the country cannot rise beyond the people it leads.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you hit I have nieces and nephews. So a lot of people do not understand what a 3-year-old is. So a 3-year-old is basically do not know their left from right. They're still trying to build their cognition. There are some that are not even speaking yet. You understand?
Yes.
There are some that are still getting potty trained. Yes, I understand the need for you to try to say, okay, write the number. And there are a lot of kids who are late bloomers when it comes to education, and it can be frustrating when you're teaching kids. But I do believe that, you can be able to teach a child without hitting that child.
A lot of people don't think about. And then, this is a 3-year-old that she's telling to write 61. We've spoken about the fact how fast we push our children.
Yeah.
Most 3-year-olds in other countries are still doing ABCs, playing in the sand, playing in the mud. They're allowed to be children. But a 3-year-old is already expected to write 61 to know the alphabet.
Yeah,
Parents get worried if their child is not speaking or not writing at a certain age. Teachers are putting pressure and saying, oh, you might need to get an extra lesson teacher because I've heard this one, that because the 3-year-old is not yet saying their ABCs all the way.
It's crazy. So I think, as Nigerians generally, and I also believe in punishment because a society that doesn't have punishment is going to, is going to shred itself apart. So as much as she has smacked somebody, so if the punishment for that, as stipulated by, our criminal codes or our laws is for her to go to prison, she should go to prison. Yeah. Because I do believe that that's the only way other teachers are going to see that and going to learn. And if you believe that you're working as a teacher and you're not being paid enough, you can leave that job. You can get something else. You can, look for a hustle. Yeah. So passing your frustrations on, on these kids, it makes no sense because now you're smacking the child. Yeah. Tomorrow it might be sexual assault. Yeah. It might be something else because it all still falls under the umbrella of abuse. Abuse in any form shouldn't be condoned. Yeah.
I think for me, what is most worrying are the reactions, and that's why I wanted to ask you about. What do you think that says about us as a people?
The same thing, and they're all men.
But there are some women there too.
There's some women, which is shocking, which is disturbing, which is a lot of people have not just, they're educated, they're exposed, but they just have this primitive mindsets as regards, how people are supposed to behave, how people are supposed to react, and say, oh yeah, just forgive and just move on. As a people, we need to just reorientate ourselves. It's 2025, it's no longer 1975. Societies evolve, and as we evolve as a society, there are a lot of things that we should leave, leave behind.
This just shows that a lot of people are a living, breathing trauma.
Yeah.
Because you hear a lot of them say, "Oh, this is how this guy was done to us." The fact
And
that
I
it was
didn't die.
yes, and you said something. The fact that it was done in the past doesn't mean it should continue. The fact that it was done to you doesn't mean it's right. And the fact that you want to carry this on, this is a 3-year-old child. You literally can smack a lifelong disability into that child.
Yeah, true.
We've seen children who fall down and then their brains just go because the child is
He
still
was
developing.
hospitalized after this,
Do you
apparently.
understand? So this is not the kind of pain, it doesn't have that threshold that an adult will have. And the fact that I can't even, the reactions were more hurtful than the video
Yes.
itself.
Yeah.
We need to do something.
It's a 3-year-old
Should
child.
I even tell you that even some of the reactions now took it to an ethnocentric spin?
Yeah.
That
Are you shocked?
I was shocked.
No, like once a conversation starts.
I was actually shocked.
Yeah, especially on social media. Just give it a while before you know what's happening. You know,
Somebody will always drag
somebody will sprinkle ethnicity and religion there. And you know, for Nigerians, once you sprinkle ethnicity and
It's
religion,
a dog whistle.
you know, everybody just loses their mind.
It's a dog whistle.
So my own thing is, and you see young people who are educated, you know, unable to rise above ethnicity and religion. It's crazy. You can't call out pastors. You can't call out, you know, tribal heads. You can't call out people who belong to the same ethnic group, you know, as you do. You know, who are doing heinous stuff. It's crazy, to be honest. But and this makes a lot of sense because for the life of me, I don't know math. You know, I struggled, you know, all through primary and secondary school or anything. And people need to, and that's why I keep saying I had on the show, when I was on the radio this morning, I had a kid that was on the radio and he was like, oh, he had to drop out of school to, you know, pursue music. And I told him that before, I used to come from the same school of thought, I think, that says, oh, you need to go to university. And you know what I told them? As long as you have a proper formal education, you can read, you can write, you can read something, you can understand it. You don't need to go to university. Figure out what you want to do and follow it.
Yeah.
But also on the flip side of that, which I agree with, remember our conversations, a majority of 7 to 14-year-olds in this country lack basic reading, math, literacy skills. So they're not learning to read. They're not learning to do math. They're not learning to be able to communicate effectively in a global world where, unfortunately, whatever we want to make of it, English is the dominant language.
Yeah, true.
So we're losing, there's a gap there. So yes, you don't necessarily have to go to university, but are we graduating enough children with a basic standard of education from even secondary school?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, we're about to enter another conversation. Blessings, let's go on.
Okay, so we've got another story stirring controversy to take on. Now, the Lagos State Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Toke Benson Awoyinka, has found herself in the midst of a storm with calls for her sack and even arrest after a video came out of her allegedly assaulting a man. Now, there is an update from the Lagos State Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, but first, let's take a look at the video.
Get him out of this compound. Get him out of this compound.
Nobody is going out of this compound.
They are leaving this
Nobody
place.
is going out of this compound, please.
Kudus, they are
Nobody is
leaving
going out
this
of
place.
No.
Get
they're not.
him out of this compound.
Nobody
now.
is going out. Hey, Mr. Man, what's your problem?
Who is paying your salary?
Wait, what is your problem?
Who is paying your salary?
What's your problem?
Man for phone away.
Keep recording, please.
Man for phone away.
Don't send MD now. Don't send MD now. Hey, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever fucking do that.
So before you saw her approach the man recording, she was sitting down at a table in what looked to be like a canteen. So on Thursday, the Lagos State Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture released a statement on X regarding the viral video. And they basically have said that their attention has been brought to this situation and what they're now, it's a very long one, but I want you guys to get the important parts of it. So they say that the commissioner has the statutory responsibility of oversight over all facilities under the ministry's purview. That she then visited the J.K. Randall Center, and during the investigation it was discovered that the director of the center, the Kwadus guy she was mentioning, Oni Keku, was illegally operating a canteen within the premises without the knowledge and approval of the ministry. So she questioned the presence of the establishment and initiated an eviction, which the center's director violently resisted and had his team attack officials of the ministry. The non-state actors, who are neither recognized by the Lagos State government nor authorized to attend the meeting, had accompanied the center's director, barged in, and he ordered them to record the proceedings while the commissioner objected to. It must be emphasized that recording any meeting without the consent of the presiding authority is unacceptable and a breach of protocol. For clarity, Mrs. Benson Awoyika did not assault anyone. Instead, a senior female member of her team was physically assaulted by the non-state actors, which then escalated as seen in the viral video depicting a totally false narrative. Now, she maintains her stance that unauthorized persons should not participate in the meeting or record its discussions in line with standard administrative procedures. An investigation has been ordered into the occurrence and appropriate actions will be taken. And basically, that's the gist of the statement that's been released. So, Osi, what were your initial thoughts when you saw the video? And then, does this statement add clarity? Does it change your mind?
Yeah, well, it sheds a lot of light on the issue. You know, I saw the video like a couple of days ago on social media. And yeah, she threw such a bad party, end of year party, Burna Boy Biscuit, yeah. So away from that. So same thing. I felt like she reacted emotionally to whatever the situation was, and also stems back to Nigeria and misbehaving. How are you the director of a center, J.K. Randall Center, and you're operating a canteen? It makes absolutely no sense. And a lot of things that Nigerians do not understand is that when they're being called into question, like, okay, what you're doing doesn't make any sense. There's always a pushback because they believe that this anyhowness should just continue. You get me? So I felt that she reacted emotionally because, yes, she, in the video, I only saw her smack the phone out of the hand of whoever it was that was recording. You understand?
Yeah.
And I think she has a right to do that because even by law, if I call you, you should let me know that this call is being recorded.
Yes.
So even when you're being called, when you call the customer care center, they'll let you know this call is being recorded for quality and quality and assurance, quality, whatever it is that they say. So so I feel like as she has a right to not be, to say she doesn't want to be recorded. Yes, she smacked the phone out of her hand. That's the only part I saw that she reacted emotionally to whatever it was. But I've seen everything that actually stemmed out. The fact that somebody was running a canteen there. Was the food good though?
So,
wow, you've been
so
there.
my point on this canteen thing is this.
Yeah.
We recognize that the J.K. Randall Center will have an allocation.
Yeah.
For some reason, possibly the allocation for NEPA or for generator will go up with the running of the canteen.
Yes.
Water bills will go up with the running of the canteen, but that canteen money is going back into the pockets, according to them,
Yeah,
of
Mr.
whoever
Kudus.
set it up.
You see, for me,
without any approval, any
before
prior
Mrs. Blessing
leave.
says anything, for me, how can a canteen be operated there and you don't know, and you are supposed to be the general overseer of that?
That's why
It
she
came
came.
to her attention.
She came to our attention.
It came to her attention.
That the smoky jollof, without our approval.
So my thing is, I don't buy this whole recording without approval. I'm sorry. As long as there's an individual dealing with a government operative, the minister of something, or that's the only, I stand at, except if it says it's against the law. Yes, I get that, in certain instances, they'll tell you this call has been recorded. If I take my phone, you see that I'm recording. As long as you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have a problem with me recording. I don't have an issue, I don't care about the situation, honestly, but this reminds me of what happened to Choma, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Which
She's
Choma?
A lifestyle influencer. Honestly, I've lost track
Oh,
of what
Choma,
she
good
does.
hair.
Exactly.
You know there are many
So,
Chomas now.
Choma.
So we need to.
So we need to clarify.
There's Choma Junwa. There's Davido's Choma.
I saw what went down because she posted it on her stories.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know whether her building was legal or not, but you needed to see the way those operatives handled it.
Oh, yeah.
They malhandled the women. There was a guy that they beat up mercilessly, and the women in their midst, that's the officers themselves, like, why are you behaving like this? Allow us to do our job. You're not doing your job.
Yeah.
You're just taking, at the end of the day, every Nigerian is power drunk when they get to power.
Yeah,
and that is what I want us to eradicate. Whether or not the civilian is doing something right or wrong, there are better ways to handle it.
And that's why I said, that, she reacted emotionally.
There are better ways to handle it. You don't just,
You're being very nice. You're very nice today and sweet.
Is that nice and sweet?
Is Madame influence?
It's what my
he's using skincare sometimes.
Yes, but it's true. I'm with blessings on this. There are different ways to handle it. And stop saying that thing. Who is paying your salary? You know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to
It could
call
have
you
been
superior.
It could have been
Nigerians.
handled better.
We are in a very active and viral digital space.
That's the next point I
Social
want to make.
media is rife. I mean, that is fertile ground. If you want to be badly behaved, social media will help you amplify your bad behavior. So if you know there's so many ways to go to a market, so many ways.
And do you know that she wouldn't have gotten a backlash if she didn't smack the phone off his hands. Yeah. So it was even evidence in her favor if she didn't do what she did.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw the viral video this week of I think a task force official, I'm not sure which state, I want to say Delta, but I'm not sure if it's right, who was actually fighting for the wheel of a public bus. And there are passengers in the bus. One guy said he had to jump out because the bus was then approaching the highway. Yeah. And they were actually fighting over the wheel. Because somebody took that video that guy has now been fired. Yeah. And so for many Nigerians, and I see it across the world, the videos that are making their way onto social media are the ways that people are getting justice.
Yeah, true.
Are the ways that people are getting some level of consequence for the behaviors of state actors. They're talking about non-state actors, but the truth is we hold state actors to higher account because you're a civil servant. At the end of the day, I don't care what your title is. Even the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a civil servant. You need to remember that. Exactly. But we tend to put them into positions where we almost demify them like they're demigods, like they're untouchable.
I agree. She could have handled that better.
Much better.
Yeah, much better.
And then the statement even just honestly is like
who pays your
it's a sorry attempt at deflecting and pushing responsibilities. Yes, someone did something wrong, but you didn't handle it. I feel like that is why
where do you get to? It was something attempt to blackmail her. How did we get there?
At the end of the day, this is what I always say, right? When as a civilian I'm driving towards a police stop, my initial response would be to be angry and to just be very defensive. Yes, because we're naturally defensive. We don't know what to expect. So we too are putting all of our guards, whatever they bring, I'll give them back fire.
And that's what happened in that video with Showore, who was the police said stop. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. You know, like I'm not stopping. That anger is that defensive mechanism kicks in. Guy, another stop. Do your work.
Let's take a few quick reactions before we go for a break because we do have some more stories. There are reactions to this. A lot of people did have one or two things to say. Someone said, this is not someone, Mr. Macaroni. Dear Mrs. Toke Benson, who do you think you are that you can't be recorded? Okay, Commissioner. And so what? You even have the temerity to
ask
another
word that she gets in
temerity. You even have the temerity to ask who is paying your salary. Is it your money? A public servant moving like a dictator, saying you will break a citizen's phone and actually moving to do so. Outrageous. And I heard another lady asking, do you know who you're talking to? Who are you? Who is she? Who are all of you? My goodness, it seems once you hold a political office in Nigeria, you become lord and master, and all citizens must become your slaves. Let's see who else. What happened before or she started recording her? We need to know what happened. I won't feel comfortable if someone should start recording me without my consent or we're mutuals. What was her offense? And the statement provides their side. Where are the Nigerians that went after the teacher yesterday? Please go after this commissioner too. The sense of oppression that comes with political offices is just ridiculous. Most Nigerian politicians are oppressors. And final one, misuse of power in Nigeria is normal now. Like this is a norm now in Nigeria. Funniest part is she won't even get any queries or lawsuits on this.
Yes.
So the ministry says there's an investigation. We haven't heard
ongoing investigation.
Ongoing. We haven't heard anything from the governor's office in regards to this because this is someone he put in place who represents him and represents Lagos State. But we don't know what will happen next.
No, we don't.
Whatever happens, we'll let you guys know.
Dated December 2025.
Carry over.
But in the meantime, we've got more stories to get through with the one and only Osi. So when we come back on this Hot Topic Special Friday, we have an update for you on the Ibadan Stampede. We'll bring that story we touched on earlier this week. There's a story in particular. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. It's still Jasiri. If you've missed a lot, but that's not all of it. We're still having discussions with Osi, formerly Osi Suave, now Osi the married man. So we've got updates.
They want to rub it in.
We've got more stories, and the next story we're going to is updates from the tragic stampede that occurred in Ibadan, claiming the lives of 35 children right before Christmas festivities last year. And by last year, I mean a few weeks ago. Earlier this week, the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, speaking at an event, said that Naomi Shilekwonla, the former wife of the Oni of Ife, as well as Hamzat Oriyomi and any others involved in the event that led to the stampede, must face trial. Here's what the governor had to say.
25 innocent souls were lost. Ọlọ́run ní jí kárí irú ẹ̀ mọ́ ní Ọ̀yọ́ State o. Quite a number of people, they've been reaching out to me, saying, oh, this thing happened in Anambra State. It happened also FCT. Nobody went to jail. Why is it in Oyo State that some people are going to jail? I said, well, Oyo State is not Anambra State. And no matter how highly placed, justice must be done. Judiciary 1B, it's in their court. If you think you can grant bail pending the trial, I don't have anything against it. But trial, the people must go on trial.
So there's a lot of conversation as to whether or not they're being scapegoated, particularly the owner of the radio station that was like a partner. And that place for me is very delicate because as long as, that means anybody who brings something to you in a tragedy happen, well, in Oyo State, because he said Oyo State is not Anambra, there's something that happened, there's something happened in Abuja as well afterwards. Anybody who brings something to you to advertise something, they're liable. And that's a very big question we need to answer. They're being charged with, I believe, conspiracy and something murder. I'll get the clarification on the charges. But Osi, it's just a tragedy all around.
What happened in Oyo State is very sad, and also this also comes on the heels of the other tragedy that happened with the explosion, in a residential area too as well. And we've not really heard about, how that's was the fallout of that investigation, and also, what has happened is, I think we need to just ask ourselves certain questions. First things first, the state is supposed to have an emergency response organization, and the state is the people who are planning an event that's bringing tons of people together. They're supposed to be able to get safety permits and safety marshals like we have in Lagos, and making sure that there are proper entry and exit areas. Then also understand that there's vicarious liability, and there's also a certain level of duty of care, meaning that if you're bringing people together, the honors rest on you to make sure that nobody's harmed. And if there's any form of, a disaster or, a stampede ensuing, there should be proper, exit points where people can be able to leave the area, properly. So at the end of the day, like I said with the teacher that smacked the 3-year-old kid, you put this event together. You understand?
But wait, let's not forget. The stampede actually happened
before it was supposed to start.
So people were already sleeping over at the Fun Fair ground. Then we heard that it was security was supposed to get there at 8 for the event to start at 10. The stampede happened before, between 6:30 and 7:30 thereabouts. They're being charged with charges bordering on conspiracy, negligent acts causing harm and failure to provide adequate security and medical facilities. But the stampede happened before. We saw videos of parents tossing their kids over the wall. Where's the responsibility of the parents?
So now, if you take this to court right now, the prosecution could argue that the reason why people gathered was because
you called them, you invited them.
So they won't be there normally if nothing was going on. So that's how tricky the law can be. So at the end of the day, if you knew maybe from the year before that things like this happen, again, duty of care, you should take adequate.
But I don't think it has happened before.
She's been doing it for almost 5 years.
She's done that, and it's not happened before.
I understand where Osi is coming from, because if you have seen and noticed that the turnout this year is going to be higher. The turnout is going to be higher. If your event starts at 10 and you know that the way these things are going, it doesn't mean because the event starts at 10, your security detail and its
But how would you know the turnout is going to be higher? You have seen the trajectory of the events year on year. The turnout did not exactly change. What changed was the economy.
So that alone should you should anticipate a ripple effect stemming from that. And that duty of care that Osi mentioned is huge. That
I know. So it's a duty of care. So if you're telling people to come and you're going to give them freebies, you understand, you should be able to make adequate preparation to make sure that, they can enter and they can exit safely. So,
I don't know about,
it's only very sad. 35 people just gone.
Tolu asked the question, are they being scapegoated? Are you using that to show we in Oyo State are doing?
But the parents that were tossing their...
They should be charged too as well. They also have, a duty of care to their own children to make sure that their children are not being put in harm's way. So I agree with that too as well.
All right, I'm not sure we have time for the last story, but also we wanted to ask you, you've interviewed some of the biggest stars
Not
of the
some,
country.
all the biggest.
Oh,
It's all right. It's all right. You know, at the end of the day, they say if we don't, that if people do not clap for you, clap for yourself. It's okay, I believe it. You've interviewed the biggest stars, right?
Yeah.
In Nigerian music and entertainment and across the continent and even internationally. Who was your most memorable interview?
The Migos, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Migos. When the
Why?
before, it was, you know, when you
Pre-Cardi B?
Nah, yeah, pre-Cardi B and before Takeoff passed.
Before he passed.
Yeah, you know, when they were still a group, and it was when you meet what's it called a lot of all these rappers, you expect them not to be intelligent and not to be in tune with what's going on. And it was a very interesting interview as regards you know, how they see Nigeria, why they were here, and you know, their perspective as regards black people in general. So it was a very, you know, it was a very interesting one. Shatawale was fantastic too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shatawale was.
He's been quiet for a while. What's going on?
I don't know, man. Maybe
That's
it's
interesting.
Ghana. I don't know what's going on in Ghana. Shatawale was fantastic. Sarkodie. I mean, Nigerian. Burna Boy. Yeah, Burna Boy is always. Burna Boy is always. You know.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
Burna
can
Boy.
But
So,
on the flip side of that, without mentioning any names, who's been like the interview that made you question and say, how are you a celeb? How are you a
oh yeah,
superstar?
there are plenty. Yeah, you know, a lot of them don't have media training.
How did you manage through all of that?
Oh, so you have to. So you now have to be professional, meaning
Yeah.
you carry the entire interview. So you ask questions and sometimes you answer it for them. So yeah, you know, they're the ones that are rude, they're the ones that put up, you know, unnecessary air of importance. The ones that don't show up on time. I could just keep going on.
and that thing is not easy. There was a video that was trending of a girl who was into escort service.
Yeah.
And the interviewer was getting so upset. Like, that means you don't have shame. And, you know, I
But I love how she gave it back to her because that girl went into the interview with bias.
Yes.
Oh, I think I saw that.
You saw the UK one.
Yeah, the UK one. And why you do? You're interviewing somebody. Why you bringing your own moral standard to
a
that?
lot of people don't understand that it takes a lot of professionalism.
Yes.
The girl got under her skin in the first few seconds,
I know.
and she was
And
enjoying
then
the
you
reaction.
walked out of your own interview.
Exactly. And the girl was like, oh, I made her walk out of it. Ooh, what?
But also very quickly, we spoke about Dirty December and I just got back and everything. And there's this information traveling and making the rounds that nightclubs or establishments in Lagos made some 4-point-something billion.
Yeah, sure. Because have you seen what a bottle of champagne costs now? It's like 300K.
That was December. They're not going to bring the cost down. They're all gone.
Like yes, it's like 300K now.
Truly,
You know,
in a
shortlets
nutshell,
are
please
crazy.
explain to us how the business of the Dirty December was, Osi, because that
You
was...
cannot tell me you were not Itala wine.
Yeah, no, I was outside. My wedding tour was
Outside.
So basically, I think this year has been the best so far. If you look at the last decade, and because a lot of people didn't rely on concerts to actually have fun. So people actually decided that, you know, they could have private parties, they go to, you know, beach houses, they could just do anything else but go to concerts to actually have fun, because, you know, they're beginning to understand that they can take their power back from the artists that will show up at 2 a.m. and give such a mediocre performance. So you're like, you know what, if I have some money in my pockets, I'll get together with a couple of my friends and, you know, just
And I
have
won't
fun.
be waiting for you to show up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so, and that was it. And it was really great for the economy. But at the same time, I think, you know, with everything in Nigeria, Lagos needs to regulate a lot of things. So now, like the short listing right now has made rents in Lagos just skyrocket.
Yeah.
Like Ikate now, somewhere, Ikate where nobody used to want to stay, you know, rent is as high as 9 million, like 10 million.
For where?
Oh, yeah.
Ikate?
Yes.
That same Ikate?
Yes. No. Let me not talk about Osaka. Let me not talk about, you know, for Agungi or Logolo, you know, all those places just further down. So, and people are now beginning to ask for two-year rent, which is against the law.
Yeah.
So I hope the governor is watching this. Just make somebody a scapegoat.
Yes.
Yes. So, you know, then the clubs, I'm happy for the people in the hospitality business. It's very difficult actually doing business in Lagos. No electricity, you know, there's taxes, there's a lot of things that you need to do. So at the end of the day, though, everybody just finds what works for you. So.
One final is, do you think it's sustainable? Because that's why I asked about the prices. There's the Dirty December price because you knew FX was coming in. And there's a crowd. Is this sustainable with the remaining crowd in Lagos?
Okay, so one thing you don't know about Lagosians is that if it's cheap, we ascribe it's being local and fake to it.
No, but I do think it will come down, though. Usually, the whole of January, it's stays the same price.
Yeah.
How do
They're
you
from my
know?
February.
Do you go outside?
She's outside.
She's not outside, it's a lie.
Blessing is a baddie now. So she's
Blessing is
outside.
bad.
I'm sure there are people in the DM saying, "Oh, what are you doing after Justery?"
Blessings, daddy, take us away.
Thank you so much, Osi Suave,
No
for
problem,
bringing that infectious energy on
Yeah.
Filtered Opinions.
Oh,
That's
yes.
how we do it here on Justery. It's been very, very interesting conversations, but it doesn't stop here. As the development comes, we're going to definitely let you know. That's all we can take. I don't know. I'm just excited. It's
It's outside tonight. You'll have pictures on Monday.